Well, hey y'all. Happy Monday. It's kind of a crazy day for me. I know I told you closer to when we were supposed to be moving that Noah, our son that just graduated last Thursday, that he was going to be leaving for MEPS. And but that got delayed because Noah had an appendectomy when he was, I think he was about 16. And so getting into the military, like, it's a big deal. Like, who knew you had to do so much stuff? So it took a little bit longer to get his medical records, and so he left for MEPS today, and so he's leaving. I'm super emotional about that. And well, he's gone now. We just dropped him off. And then I've got one with a sick belly, and then I stayed up too late, like, researching. I'm a research freak, so I stayed up too late researching how to train a Rottweiler puppy. Because I saw some puppies on Nextdoor, but today I'm just like, I don't have time to train a dog right now, so I'm gonna have to put that on the back burner. So I had intended upon chatting with you about different things that we reused from our previous garden. So I'm still gonna kind of do that, but it's gonna be a little bit more rambly. So here's the first place I'm gonna start, because we actually use this barrel. This used to be like my pre-compost container. Like, when I collect clippings from the yard, they go in here. It's got holes in the bottom because I've done that too many times where it fills up with water and becomes gross. So we were breaking down the bales. We filled this can up with just in every piece of the bale, and we also filled up like 4 fabric bags. So I've been using the fabric bags and some of this. This is all I have left now, but this is still a great amount. But I've been using them to mulch the bags. So this is an example of a bag that's been mulched. So if you pull back the mulch some, that's where you get to the soil. And I do think this has been good. I know I talked before about using leaf mulch, but when I ended up with this surplus, that's what I went for. So if you ever do straw bales, this is the best thing I can say about reusing something from our other garden is, don't throw away the straw. It's either going to be good for your compost, or you can use it for mulch. Now, this is the last of the kiddie pool dirt, and it's really not much at all. I mean, I think I could maybe fill up 2 more bags like that, but I think I'm gonna fill up this like half wine barrel, and I'm gonna upplant this huge lavender, even though probably shouldn't do it because it's gonna be hot, but I feel like she wants a bigger space. So, but this is another, and I did a video that I'm gonna show you where I broke down a bag that had potatoes growing in it. And when I did, you can't see it now because I filled up 7 bags of dirt yesterday. Shoveled it out, but the whole time I was shoveling out dirt, I was pulling out green onions, because when, oh look, here's one right here. Because when my husband said, let's dump the kiddie pools, he's like, don't worry about digging everything up. Well, not only were these everywhere in the soil, there were some that were actually actively growing, and I haven't been watering this at all, which I probably should have been. But that's the biggest reason why I had to take this soil with me, because it's alive. It's not just dirt. This is an investment that I make. And I think I've told you guys before about how I make my soil, and if not, we can revisit that sometime. But now, see, I've got all these bags ready to go, and like I said, I can make 2 more if I wanted. So those are 2 things that we reused from the previous garden. I almost tripped there. And obviously we reused the trellises, and we got to use more than we were able to previously use in the past, because obviously we've got a bigger garden. And oh, the other thing I wanted to share with you and I really should have my gloves on, is that when we moved, and I'm gonna try and show you, because I put a video on Instagram when I first was working in this. But another cool thing that we were able to reuse from our last garden was our compost pile, and we had never turned it. We had never turned it. I just want to get down here to some of like this awesome like that. Do you see that? I made that. That's our waste, our food waste. So in the process of moving this, it got turned. You know, we had bought a pitchfork to turn it and just still never got around to turning it. So my best advice on compost is to let it sit and turn it whenever you feel like it, because this had sat for probably a good year and a half. And but when we moved, it got jumbled around and kind of naturally turned it, and because of that, we were able to get 5-gallon, like those red 5-gallon buckets. I pulled 2 of those out of that bin. I'm saving the rest in there to, you know, recreate my next pile, which is what I'm about to start on, because I have tons of food waste in the freezer. So when I was mulching the bags, the first thing I did in that first week is I went in and I did my Tony's fertilizer. Great fertilizer. I'm totally loving it. I'm on a much better schedule with it this year than I was in the past. And so I did his fertilizer, and then I did our compost, and then I went in with the straw and mulched about 2 inches or so. This is an indigo apple, and I'm really just loving them. And it's so interesting to me how the later tomatoes are having much more of an heirloom presentation, you know, like these awesome Genovese. Now they really have a beautiful heirloom presentation, and they taste awesome. So yeah, it was super exciting to be able to use our own compost, and because that right there, that's like $16 or more that I saved on compost because we made it, you know. So if you want to talk about compost again, let's talk about that, because I feel a lot more confident about composting than I did in the past. And so I hope that you made good use of these cooler days and got some stuff done. I got a little bit done, but not as much as I would have wanted to. So there are some things that I reused from the garden, some things that I've been working on in the garden, and just remember, think about your tomatoes, and if some of them just really don't look like they've got the life to go to the next level, then let's get those out of the garden. Let's not keep feeding them and invite in too much stuff. And then as we get into the heat, we can decide who is gonna go through this summer with us. But that right there is gonna wrap it up. Well, I hope that rambly little video was somewhat helpful, somewhat interesting. But like I said, I've kind of got a crazy day going on, but I still wanted to share with you what I've got going on. And next week, I'm going to be talking about, because it'll be time to talk about what you can plant in June, but I also want to talk about what we're going to be able to plant over the course of the summer, because a lot of people, especially new to gardening in Arizona, a lot of people are like, can we even still plant anything? And the answer is, you sure can. So tune in next week, because we're not just going to talk about what you can plant in June. We're going to talk about kind of the long view of what we can plant throughout the summer, because I want you to feel positive about still being able to do things in the heat. So I want to do that to give you something to look forward to. So keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we watch Noah go off, because now after this, you know, he's gonna get a date. He's gonna get a date to go be in the Air Force, and pray for little May's belly that she gets to feeling better. And more than anything, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you have the best day ever. Bye.